Let me recognize the problem so it can be solved. This is the lesson we're remembering, we're repeating today in A Course in Miracles. So, are gas prices the problem right now? Because they are going up in less than a week, doubled. Is the president the problem? Are the gas stations the problem? Are countries the problem? Is my family the problem? Are my neighbors the problem? Is it the state I live in that's the problem? I ask all these questions because, as you can see, we can find significant amount of problems, and the list goes on. Am I the problem? Right? Woe is me. Why does this all happen to me? What is the problem? The Course, Jesus, Spirit, 111, is leading you to the revelation of the problem, the understanding, the experience of what a miracle is, which is understanding where the true problem is so it can be solved, so that the solution exists. And what he's saying is that the problem and the solution are one. Where the problem is lies immediately the solution. Not in time, not like this is happening and then this needs to happen to then solve it, right? Like, it's not a solution in time. It is not a solution in the physical, in the material, in the circumstances. And although certain circumstances feel like they could be safer, anything that threatens our idea of safety, of our comfort, it feels like an attack on us, on our experience, on our peace, on our plan, on our comfort. And that, my friends, is ego. Is ego. The ego is the only one who can even interpret attack, who can interpret aggression, who can judge upon anything. Because if we look here, you see this spot right here, all this nature, the trees, the river, the animals. When things happen, when storms hit, it doesn't have the words to apply to any circumstance. It's not thinking, oh, this storm is a bad one. Oh, this one is a good one. Oh, this threatens my safety or not. Nature just is, and that is why it is such a beautiful reflection of truth. It is a symbol of the truth. And it helps us when we are in it to regulate us back to truth, to the closest thing of feeling this overarching stillness, 333. This overarching stillness above the battleground, or if you want to look at it in terms of water and ocean, problems are really the white tips, the seeming waves, when the true solution is always available right a little bit deeper underneath, in the stillness underwater. That will always remain no matter what's happening at the surface. And we're looking at the surface and deciding what's really happening. But the truth is that what's really happening is steady and underneath. And that is who we are. That is what we're being invited to again and again, to remember. A problem is an interpretation. It is a word we've decided to place upon something. It is me saying, my plan is not working. The things that make me safe are not going as planned. There we go, plan. What I expected, how to be treated, how certain things were supposed to work out in society, whatever it is, all the possible things, this relationship, this job, this boss, these parents, this moment of my life, whatever it is, all the circumstances we can identify as problems, but that is simply an interpretation. And the Course is leading us to a more open, more trusting interpretation, right? Which is the miracle in the mind. How about we hand over this idea of that we think we know what things are for, right? Huge lesson in A Course in Miracles. I do not know what anything is for, because it allows us to take a step back and say, I don't know what these gas prices are for. I don't know what this president is for. I don't know what this relationship is for. I don't know what this job is for. But what I do know is that I am here, that it is happening, that it is in front of me, that this conversation is happening, that this rise in price is happening, that this war seemingly is happening, that these countries are happening, whatever relations, all of it. It's not to deny it. It's not to bypass it, but it is to take a step back and say, I don't know what it's for. I don't know what it's for. And from a place of openness and trust that you do understand that the problem and the solution are one, if you can get to the point where you realize the solution is not outside of me. It's not me changing something. It's not me making something happen. And it doesn't mean that we don't do anything in the form. Let's not take that black and white perspective either, which is also egoic. It is about tuning in, releasing our interpretations. That is the invitation, even for me, like releasing the interpretation of knowing what it's for, of knowing why it's happening, of making it into anything, because we don't know whether it's good and it's seemingly positive and exciting, or it's seemingly bad and an attack. All of it is two sides of the same coin, making us believe that we are at the will of things happening, but we are not. The decision is in the mind, the interpretation is in the mind. And therefore, that means that we can decide if something is a problem or not. We can retract our interpretation, take it back, and allow for something else to be shown. Just that. You don't even have to put a new interpretation. That's not the point. It's not that would be knowing what it's for again. Even if it's positive, it's just letting go and saying all things are working for my awakening, working for the evolution of my soul, spirit. Soul really, because spirit is already one and perfect. But yeah, we're going back into semantics. This is what it is. And that step back leads us into a space of freedom, of trust, of willingness to be led. And from there, we take action. We feel something is coming up, a conversation arises, we have to speak our truth, we want to share, with family, but we don't get caught up in the waves. We remain still under, like the ocean underneath. We remain still, and we can see the waves, and we can acknowledge that there are waves. And yet, we do not need to interpret and judge upon what the waves are, why the waves are here, how the waves will hurt us or not hurt us, and who it affects and who it doesn't affect. We know nothing. So this is an invitation to step back into humility, into openness and trust. And anything that you feel is attacking you right now, that has you into that victim mentality, into the little ego self, let yourself be reminded by the divine love that carries you all times. You have the power within you to make the decision and let go of that interpretation. The problem and the solution are one and the same, cause and effect. Course in Miracles is teaching us that. It is here and available. All problems are solved. Let me recognize that all my problems have been solved. Why? As Carol Howe beautifully reminds us and states, because all problems have been solved, because all I need to do as soon as I release my interpretation of it even being a problem, even if it's, I don't know what this is, we release the attack on our little self, on this idea, on this plan that we have. We just open and we surrender. And that is how we allow the miracle to happen. That is how we allow for an experience of a softening, of an opening, of an entering to joy that is different from everything else. We want the experience. The Course in Miracle is teaching us the experience. And the reminder just came up on my phone. Let me recognize the problem so it can be solved. Sending you so, so much love. May this message enter your heart. May you be open to receive. And may we all open ourselves to the miracle that is underneath the waves, underneath the seeming crashing, flowing, ups and downs, rain, storms. The miracle is below, in the stillness, in the openness, in the humility, in the not knowing. So much love. See you next video.